I was on a mission to find out about the truth behind the design of Capcom's spin-off title. Things were not looking good for me. I don't know if that was a sign that I'm going to bash this game, but this is WizWar 100. You're the viewers and I'm the reviewer. The game we're looking at is Resident Evil Gaiden.
You know what? I hate games that can be pronounced two ways, so let's just call this game Gay Gaiden. So, Resident Evil Gay Gaiden is a spin-off game from the Resident Evil series. This one really stuck out to me because I saw this game as a kid going to EV Games, and I see this game on a Nintendo product, the Game Boy Color, and at the time I was thinking, isn't Resident Evil PlayStation only? So the curiosity was lingering for a long time, and with the power of emulators, I got a chance to play it. This Resident Evil game played very differently from previous Resident Evil games, and that's because after looking it up, originally there was a plan to put Resident Evil 1 on the Game Boy Color, however that failed, so Capcom decided to make a different game, which is Gay Gaiden, but they didn't have the confidence to make it with their initial failure, so they gave the project to a British game development studio known as M4 Limited to handle the development. And the only involvement Capcom had in this game was the story, and here's what they made. Instead of having the camera in a certain position to make things complicated, they have a top-down view that makes everything so much easier to view and so much easier to move around, kinda like in Legend of Zelda. It should also be noted that this is the first time Barry Burton is a playable character in a Resident Evil game, even though the sprite looks nothing like him except during the cutscenes. But back to the more important discussion. Moving around whichever direction you press, Barry will move in that direction. No turret controls here. The design of this game is quite simple to understand for all players. You also have a pretty simple inventory to manage and can carry infinite amount of items, unlike previous games where you only have a set number of space to hold items. You have a PDA that updates you on what to do, making it easier to figure out what you're supposed to do when playing the game, unlike the previous ones. There's also a map that shows you where you are and where you're supposed to be headed next. Then you have these notification marks. Green exclamation marks show that there are items that you can pick up, like ammo for guns, herbs to heal, armor to reduce damage, and important items to progress in the game. Red exclamation marks alert you to nearby enemies. That's pretty helpful considering this game can be sneaky about enemy placement sometimes. I just want to butt in here for a second. Apparently red exclamation marks means that the zombies that are in the area, or one of them that you're close to, has an item. I don't recall the game telling you about what the red exclamation marks mean. They told you what the green ones mean, but not the red ones, or maybe I missed it and forgot. The puzzles in this game isn't very complex. In fact, all you're doing is collecting keys and items to go from point A to point B, so it gets rid of all the tricky puzzles you hate and focus more or less on the action. This game also has some really good graphics. It's simple and complex. You have just basic graphics when you're in overhead view, and detailed graphics during combat and cutscenes. Kinda reminds me of how they did Resident Evil 4. But onto the story. The story is that there's a BOW on the ship. Leon from Resident Evil 2 was sent in to investigate, but they lost context, so you as Barry must go in and look for him, and destroy the BOW. And that's basically it, and the story is pretty simple. It's still Resident Evil, but this is non-canon because it's a spin-off game. The music and sound effects? They're okay. And that's pretty much it. With all the design M4 made for this game, it sounds like this would be a really good Resident Evil game to play, right? Yes, it would be. If M4 didn't screw you over. In the game, you'll find allies like the little girl, Lucia, and Leon to help you in battle. Or at least they should be. Now, what happens is when you have an ally in battle, they do not help you in battle unless you select them to use them. Which makes having allies useless, because if you are only going to be using one person, then why have allies?
Oh, hey, can I help?
No.
Oh, please?
No.
Well, why not?
Because M4 said one at a time only instead of having everyone shoot at the same time. To be fair, you can have your allies equip your other weapons so you don't have to scroll through your select screen to use that weapon when you run out of ammo. Oh, and if one of your allies dies, it's game over. And you start all over from a save point.
Speaking of save points...
There is none! Okay, I just wanted to see some of you guys in shock. You do have a save point, but if you thought the save point in the old Resident Evil games where you have a limited number of saves sucked, well, they don't have that here.
Isn't that great? But how does it save if it's not going to use the typewriter format? The game saves whenever it feels like it. Does that sound better than having a choice when to save?
What I mean by that is whenever you reach a certain point in the game, wherever the hell they decide was a good place to put the save point, you get the chance to save once and never again until the next save point. So if you happen to die anywhere between the save point, well, it's back to the last save point and this really sucks. So the game tells you to save ammo by avoiding combat. But here's the problem. Some of these zombies carry important items like keys and you will not know which zombie it is, unless you shoot every single one through trial and error. They also drop herbs and ammo depending on which zombie you killed, because it's predetermined who has what. Speaking of ammo, if you find ammo for other guns, guess what? You think you can just carry it with you until you find the gun to use it on, right? Well, that would be just way too convenient to do. If you do not have said gun in hand when finding said ammo, you cannot pick them up for later use.
Oh, look! I found shotgun bullets! I don't have a shotgun. But that means I can't take it with me. I'll just leave it right here.
Oh my god, why would you ever do that? That means if you find said gun, you gotta run all the way back to grab said ammo so you can have it with you. Why would you do that? You never did it in the old Resident Evil games, but you do it now?
Anyways, it almost feels like the game's taunting you, so you better write down where said ammo is. The zombie hitbox when they grab you to engage in combat with is crippled. That's just not fair, when it looks like they shouldn't be able to grab you when you try to run around them. The programming for that sucks. Oh, and while we're at it, when you get grabbed by a zombie, sometimes more zombies pop up on the screen to join the battle. And not only that, any zombies that are on screen regardless of where they are, like on the other side or behind an object or whatever, they will enter into the same combat with you too! Cheap! But that's not the end of it. There is one thing that completely kills the game, and you know what kills the game? Aside from the zombies, you know what kills the game? The fudging combat system! What the fudge? You know what? I don't even want to censor myself. What the fuck was M4 smoking when they made this motherfucking combat system? It's like that stupid arcade game where you stack the blocks to try and win those major prizes, except it's a video game and you're not losing money, you're losing your patience. At least I am with this combat system. How the fuck did this get past game testing? If I ever have this team working under me, I'd fire their ass all the way to the moon with the rocket-propelled bag of shit. But back to the combat system. Just this combat system and the game is just barely playable. Why can't we just have a crosshair on screen and shoot the zombie? Oh, that would be way too easy when shooting zombies. So we're going to make this original but retarded combat system to make it more challenging. Great Scott, I like this idea. Let's put it in without realizing it's a piece of shit. What and how is this legal? What's wrong with Barry? Is he spazzing out and trembling in fear even though he's already killed a bunch of zombies in Resident Evil 1? And speaking of Barry, where's his signature weapon, the Magnum? And you don't even find a Magnum in this game. It would have been badass. Though it wouldn't have helped. And you'll find out soon why. How are you supposed to develop a strategy when you have to rely on you being quick and accurate with your timing in order to hit anything? How are you supposed to be consistently accurate when it's like this happening every single time you try and fight?
I can't shoot the zombie if you keep shaking me.
And you can't do dildo rock about it, but that's not the end of it. It's not so bad when you start out, but this happens later on. How the fuck am I supposed to hit anything with it going faster than Speedy Gonzala? And you know why this happens? You know why this piece of fucking ass got worse? Because you have a better gun!
Oh, hey, an assault rifle. Kill sandwiches! Okay, I'm gonna start shooting my gun.
Do the Mario! Swing your arms from side to side. Come on, it's time to go. Do the Mario.
What possessed M4 to make it even worse? You might as well not even pick up the weapon because they're so goddamn hard to aim with.
Look, I know you're excited about rocket launchers, but I seriously can't hit them, and you're about to snap my...
You're just gonna miss and waste bullets, which might as well amount to you not having the gun in the first place. But you need it because they are powerful, and you can't beat the bosses in the game without a more powerful gun.
Come on now, just like that.
Overall, if the combat system was just better, less trial and error gameplay, and some small issues that can be fixed, this could have been a memorable game to play and have, and I would have liked it a lot and bought it back then. I'm Wizard100, you're the viewers and I'm the reviewer, so stay tuned.
Dude, this was my fifth take or something. Just take it.
There's an ant on my gun.
Whoosh, 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 whoosh. What you got, bitch? What you got, bitch? Huh? No.
Still alive? Damn it, it's on me. Got it.